name is Stephanie and I work at the Sugar Land Branch Library. Today I'm going to show you how to make drawstring bags of different sizes using materials from around the house and some very basic sewing skills. I myself am a beginning sewer, and so that just goes to show how very easy this project is. Here are all the materials I'll be using today. You will need a sewing machine and thread, a t-shirt that you're willing to cut, a pair of scissors, a safety pin, and either thin rope or shoelaces. We'll start with a smaller drawstring bag. Your first step will be to cut the sleeve off a t-shirt. You will just cut it along the seam, and at this point it doesn't need to be tidy because we will trim it down later. Now decide how wide and how deep you would like your pouch to be. Most sleeves aren't perfectly symmetrical, so you will need to line up the edge and cut it so that it will have right angles. Now we'll be using our sewing machine. First, take your fabric, flip it inside out, and match the edges once again. Since this is a knit fabric, I will be using a zigzag stitch in order to allow the material to stretch. I would normally match the color of my thread to the fabric, but today I'm using a contrasting color so that you can see what's going on. Turn it around, and be careful as you sew not to stretch the material or it'll bunch up. Now, carefully trim away the excess fabric. Turn your pouch inside out. And now we're ready to make the holes for the drawstring. You're basically going to want to cut through the front layer of fabric without cutting through the inside. So pinch the material a bit until you feel them separate, and then just snip through that one layer of fabric. Repeat this on each side, then flip it and do it again on each side. Now we're ready to thread the rope through. Take a safety pin and attach it to the end of your rope or string. Feed the safety pin through the first hole and then shimmy it through to the other side. Pull it through, flip your bag, and then insert it to the hole on the other side, and repeat. Remove the safety pin, and now we can tie a knot in each end so they won't pull back through. Now you have a simple drawstring. Now let's make a larger bag. We have two options here. If you have a shirt that has a logo or a design that has to remain upright, you can use the neck for the drawstring. If you have a shirt that's a solid color or a pattern that looks fine either way, you can use the bottom hem of the shirt for the drawstring. Lay your shirt out flat and decide what size and shape you would like your bag to be. Remember to taper the top since the neck will determine how wide the pouch can open. I'm folding the shirt in half so that I can keep it somewhat symmetrical. Head back to your sewing machine. We're doing exactly the same thing that we did for the other pouch, but this time it's just going to be a lot more sewing. Set it to a zigzag stitch. Flip your fabric inside out. Trim off the excess fabric. Flip your bag inside out. And we are going to cut holes on each side of the neck, flip it, and then do the same on the back. This time I'm going to use a shoelace. You can feed it through without a safety pin, but I just find it easier. It gives you more to grab onto. If you'd like to make a double drawstring, we can take a second shoelace and feed it through the opposite way. Now, you'll have two loose ends on each side. You can tie those together. There you go. Let's make one more bag, this time using the bottom hem as the drawstring. I'm just going to trim my shirt straight across under the sleeves. This time I'm going to make the bag as wide as the shirt, so I only need to cut and sew one edge. Flip your bag back inside out. Clip through the hem with just one layer of fabric. Take your string or shoelace and use a safety pin if you wish. Tie the end in a knot, and once again, we have a finished bag. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. I hope you enjoy making some bags for yourself.